Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do,
Just what to do, just what to do.
if what you're feeling is really true,
Is really true, is it really true?
just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show. Everyone and anyone who knows me knows I am the author of I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass. I'd rather be a smartass than a dumbass. Because, guys, 33 years ago, I was a dumbass. But today, 33 years later, through the grace of God, I can honestly say now I'm a smartass. Yes, the word ass is in the Bible at least 40 times, and it means donkey, and that's what I was. I'm saying all that to say this. There's a lot of people out there still struggling. I want everyone to know someone is listening. I'm a nutritional health coach, and I'm a recovery coach. All my services to you are free. Please, please reach out. If you think my book can help someone, because I sure do, you can go right to Simon & Schuster's bookstore, Archway Publishing, BAM, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to my website, www.geripetito.com. Please subscribe to the Geri Petito Show YouTube channel. And guys, listen to me. If you truly, truly, truly cannot afford my book, please, please reach out to me about that as well. Before I introduce my incredible guest, I want to give a shout out to one of my sponsors today. Her name is Paula Ann, Ablaze Entertainment and Freedom Rings Festival, helping survivors of human trafficking to live a life of normalcy. The Geri Petito Show is also one of their sponsors, www.freedomringsfestival.com. Please, please check it out. So, I have a really cool guest today, an incredible inspiration. And when I tell you why, you'll get it. So, Rabiah Seminole, say hello to everyone.
Hello, good afternoon.
So, what she does is amazing. I want to give a shout out to Shirley Rothman first because she's the one who introduced the two of us. And love you, Cheryl girl. And Rabiah, tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, I'm Rabiah Seminole, and I run Blue Horse Mucklaw Equine Retirement and Rescue Center in Chase City, Virginia, and also Blue Horse Dog House. We are a sanctuary for horses, and we are a shelter for dogs that were going to be euthanized. We rehome them when we can. But we also do other programs for kids at risk, et cetera. You know, we have a whole lot of different variables that we do here.
So, where are you located?
We're in Chase City, Virginia. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Okay. And
It's near Clarksville, Virginia.
okay, and I know you're nervous because it looks like you're having a storm, right?
We're having you can hear it in the background. It just came up out of nowhere.
Okay.
So you can probably hear the rain and the lightning and thunder. So
Okay. So, you were gonna do it on the Rainbow Bridge, but because of the rain, you can't. So tell us about the Rainbow Bridge.
okay, that was a dream I had for about 2 years. I wanted to have a rainbow bridge here so that people that have lost one of their fur babies would have a place to come and find peace and have closure. They can hang a collar. We inscribe the names of their animals on the bridge. We also, it's not just for dogs, it's for cats, it's for any animal that you've lost that you want to remember. There's never a charge for it. And just to clarify, Jamie King, who's a police officer, was instrumental in helping me to get this going. We have a group called the Community Alternative Support Effort, and these are young people that have been in trouble, and instead of going to jail or being incarcerated in a juvie center, they come out here and work, and they help to put it together. It's pretty amazing.
So I want to comment on that real quick. That is very amazing. Robbinsville Township. I've been here for 50 years. Our police department started something years ago also to help
Uh-huh.
addicts that are caught and arrested. And so whenever I hear stuff like that, I'm like, this is incredible. So you guys do the same. So that's pretty good. That's amazing.
Yeah, these are high school kids too.
Yeah.
They would they would have been in a juvenile center instead of being outside. A lot of these kids haven't had any kind of interaction with animals other than their dog or whatever. But they come out here and they learn compassion. And the police officers work right next to them. They don't just stand there and watch them work. They actually pitch in and dig and do
It's
the whole thing,
amazing. Wow.
which I think is really, really important.
That's amazing. Wow, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
I follow you on Facebook and I see some incredible photos, and you've had a horse also with just two legs, correct?
I'm sorry, the brain is so loud. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Okay. Well, I love your photos on Facebook, I was saying, even with the horses.
Oh yeah, I love taking photos of the animals here. I like to be transparent so people can see all the different animals we do have. And when we lose one, I like to always, remember them and honor them because they deserve that. And a lot of these animals have come from such horrible scenarios that it's almost unimaginable. And I've been doing this, it'll be 26 years in December that I've been doing the rescue and sanctuary. And it's a lifetime commitment. You can't just walk away from it.
Wow. So I have a question. How do you find out about these animals?
It's really amazing how they kind of find you. You know what I mean? When I first started Blue Horse, I started out with a horse named Gitchy. He was a caisson from Arlington National Cemetery. He had been a caisson there for 8 years. And if you don't know what a caisson is, it's one of the horses that help to take servicemen to their final resting place.
Whoa.
And he was there for 8 years. He worked 6 days a week, and he had finally he learned how to let other horses out of their stalls. So they auctioned him off, and I ended up with him. And I had him for 28 years, but when I got him, he needed a companion, and I learned about a horse that was going to be euthanized because the people couldn't do anything with it anymore. So I was like, well, I'll take her. And every time I built a stall, another horse came, and it's been like that since the beginning. We have 35 horses here right now, and we have 30 dogs here. It's a lot. So.
What other animals do you have? Because I know you were taking care of a tortoise today.
Yeah, we have 3 tortoise. They're the red-footed tortoise. They're 20 years old. They weigh about 20 pounds. And they're really funny. People think they don't have a personality, but they really do. They can recognize your voice. And when I go off to the little turtle area, the tortoise area, the summertime area, you walk out there and call them, and they come just as fast as they can, thinking they're going to get a treat, which they usually do. But we have an emu named Carl, who's a real character. We have cats, we have pigs, we have goats, donkeys, and there's fish. There's something for everybody, really. And it's basically, I started out as an equine rescue and retirement at sanctuary for horses that were deemed past their prime, and it just kind of grew from that. So
Wow.
I feel really blessed.
Well, God bless you for all this. I'm an animal lover. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I had an animal room. and it was amazing. And I had 3 saltwater tanks, the real tall one with starfish in that, and
Oh,
it was
wow.
amazing, and all kinds of stuff. So, but then I had, of course, the cat, dog. I had snakes. I had giant birds. I had Nandays. I mean, it was amazing all the animals that I had, and people would just come over just to see the animals. And I had boas, but I had these 2 grass snakes, they're called, okay? And they're
Wow.
long,
Uh-huh.
skinny green. Well, I used to take them, you're gonna love this, and wrap one around each of my wrists, and I went shopping with them. And people would scream as they're passing me, and I'd be like, oh, they're friendly, you know? It was so cool. I miss those days.
I love snakes. I think they're great.
I love them.
We have a lot of black snakes here that, are that have been here for years. They're nice and long, and they're big snakes. I absolutely adore them. They get rid of the poisonous ones and, keep the mice population down.
Right,
I don't like seeing that happen, but it has to.
right.
So,
So I have a little snake story for you that you're going to love. So there's a woman out there. She goes by Serpentessa, and she
wow.
gives snake massages in Brooklyn. Okay, my daughter found her a few years back, pre-COVID. She surprised me as a birthday gift because I love massages and I love snakes. So my daughter and
Right.
I drove to Brooklyn, and she had these 3 giant snakes. I have amazing photos. But here's what's so cool. People think, I believe, other than cockroaches, I gotta say, I believe every animal has a purpose. But so anyway, I had an accident, and I had an injury on my right foot, my left
Uh-huh.
knee, and my right arm. Keep that in mind, right? All of a sudden, through this massage, one snake wrapped itself around my left knee, one snake wrapped itself around my right foot, and one wrapped itself around my right arm, and they were gyrating like back and forth. Like, me and my daughter looked at each other. I looked at the woman. She said, do you have injuries there? I said, yes. How the heck do they know that? She said, they know, and they're trying to help you.
I believe that.
Isn't that
Absolutely.
amazing?
Yeah, it is. But animals know.
They know.
People think they know more than animals. They don't.
No,
Animals are totally connected to the earth. And if we were that connected, we would be really fortunate.
you're right.
So
You're right.
I really believe that.
So I have a couple questions for you. Um,
Okay.
so of all, all the years that you've been doing this and all the different animals, and they won't hear us, so you could say it. Do you have your favorites?
Do I have my favorites? Um, I think the ones that need me the most become my favorites because, they need help so badly. And that's Gitchy was my favorite horse. I had him for 28 years before I lost him. And he and uh, Hogan is the dog that I feature a lot on my website and on my Facebook page. The pit bull that only weighed 30 pounds.
Okay.
When I rescued him, he had his ears cut off to the skull.
Right.
He was in really, really, really bad condition, and he's been with me for 10 years now. And you get real connected. Certain ones you really connect with. There have been a few over the years that devastated me when when I lost them. But I have to really tell myself, some of these animals have been here for 20 years, and they don't live forever, just like people don't. And you have to let them go. You have to love them enough to let them go. That's my motto.
Right.
So I don't let them suffer. I don't believe in that. I believe in numaji, which means honor, dignity, and respect. And that's how I want to go off this planet. I don't want to suffer. And
Yep.
that's how I deal with the animals as well.
Right.
So their quality is important, not their quantity.
Right. I agree with you. So growing up as a child, obviously you were an animal lover?
Oh, yeah, I drove my parents crazy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Yes.
When I was about 11 or 12, I had a horse at a stable that was right in front of animal control in Virginia Beach. And I used to go through the fence over there, and I would trade comic books for the animals to get them out of there. And I went over there one day, and there was a truck hooked up to the gas chamber. So they would use carbon monoxide to kill them. So I I let all the animals out,
Mhm.
and I was throwing them over the fence, and they followed me home. Um, I got in trouble for it, of course, but my mom got home from work and she looked out in the backyard. She said, "Where did all these animals come from?" And what happened from that, though, was that they finally investigated that place because there were guys over there doing some really horrible things to the animals in there. And nobody would believe me because I was a kid. But they did after that. It really shed light on some things that were going on that were horrific. And that's when I knew right then and there that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to save animals. And that's what I've been doing. So,
When I was young, I used to drive my poor dad crazy. We lived in the country in Robbinsville, and I would bring home stray cats and dogs like every week, and he would go, "What the heck's the matter for you?" with his Italian accent, and he would feed them. He would act like, "What are you, crazy?" But he would feed them. And I remember I was only 12 or 13, and there were spiders in my dad's mailbox. And I would make sure as soon as I got off the bus, I ran and got the mail for him so they never had to go to the mailbox. So that only lasted a couple weeks because I had a spider farm. Now
okay,
you
good.
talk. Yes.
It's just raining so hard.
Yeah, I know,
Oh my
sweetie.
goodness.
As long as
Um,
we could get through this, even if we can get through another 15 minutes, we'll be good.
oh
So,
yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you want to get out there? What do you want to tell people? What's your message and how can people reach out to you if they need to?
Well, what I'd like to tell people is that we need to change the way people are treating animals. We need to change some laws and make it, uh, you know, make people realize that we've got to have compassion. These animals feel just like you and I do. And to just walk away from something, if you see something, you need to say something. You need to be their voice. They can't speak up. We need to speak up for them. And if we don't, then we're just as guilty as the person doing the abuse. That's how I see it.
Yep.
And if people want to reach out to me, they can do so through our website. You have our website. I can give it to you right now.
Yeah, go tell everyone. Tell everyone, yes.
It's www.bluehorsemukwa.org. And that's our website. And we're on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. And my phone number is public because I get, calls
Right.
up and right. But my number is 757-439-4206. We're right now, we can't take any more animals in because we're full. And, the only way we can sustain ourselves are through donations, through people being generous and helping us out, so that we can feed and house and vet the animals that do come in. Our vet bills are out of control. And well, everything is. We go through 120,000 pounds of horse feed a year, 5,200 bales of hay. Our dog food, we go through 1,000 pounds a month. It's a lot. And, I live on Social Security, so it's not like, it's just growing out of the ground. We definitely need help. We need blankets. We need, for the dog kennels, we have dogs that are incontinent. We have one in a wheelchair. We have blind dogs. Most of the dogs that we do take in are special needs. They're hospice dogs, dogs that have needed a soft place to land so they could live out the rest of their lives outside of a kennel. We do have some that are adoptable, but we do have a really strict adoption process because we don't want them to end up just like they did, to end up in the pound. So, and these high kill shelters, you want a dog, go there and find out who's on the euthanasia list and pull them out of there. That's what you can do. So,
Wow. This is crazy. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, I could be wrong. I just didn't know maybe because we didn't have social media. But growing up, I don't remember all of this. Was it there? Was it happening?
it was happening, but I think it's worse now because we've become such a throwaway society. When you don't want something anymore, you just toss it. Nothing matters really. It's just kind of sad, there every 6 seconds in this country, a dog is being euthanized. And we're not talking about some sick little dog. We're talking about purebreds, we're talking about pits, we're talking about chihuahuas, we're talking about, you name it, where they're euthanizing. So, and it's not the shelter's fault. It is irresponsible owners
Right.
that turn in their animals because they're moving, they're having a kid, this or that. You know, it's a lifetime commitment. It's not just, oh, I want to get a puppy and I'm going to trade it in for a newer model next year. That's not what it's about, you know, at all. And that's what infuriates me. I mean, if somebody comes here and wants a dog, they're going to make a commitment, or I'll take it back from them. And I've done that a couple times.
Okay.
So
I want to.
I don't believe in that. Huh?
No. Continue.
No, I was just going to say, I don't believe in, if you make a commitment to something, you live up to it. It's just like what I do here. The kids that come out here say, I don't understand why or how you do this every day. I said, because I made a commitment. I can't just tell these animals, well, I'm not feeding you today, or I'm too cold, I'm too tired, I don't feel good. They've got to eat. And no matter what, that's going to happen. And it's really made a huge difference in some of the kids that have come out here. You know, I have several autistic kids that I work with, and they absolutely love it. They connect so much with the animals. It's really wonderful to see
Yeah.
how they feel from it and so forth. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So
I have a couple silly, well, one is not silly, a couple stories about birds that you're going to love. The first one's kind of silly. The second one's not. So my cousin Michael, he's an adult now. We all grew up on the same road. His dad and my dad were brothers. Anyway, calls me up one day, and we're going back. I was in my 20s. Calls me up one day, and he was a young boy, and he said, "Listen, my grandmother can't keep her African gray parrot anymore."
oh
I said, "Bring it
yeah,
here, bring it here." So he gets help. He comes over and he's got this giant cage, floor to ceiling, with this African gray in it. They wheeled it in with him in it. Okay? So me, I just put my hand in there. The bird jumps on my hand and I kiss it. We're kissing each other now. Lips to lips, right? My cousin is staring at me like, what just happened? So I put the bird back. I go, "Why are you looking weird?" He goes, "John, that bird is evil. That bird attacks everyone. I didn't want to tell you that. That's why my grandmother couldn't keep it anymore. It was kissing you." I said, "Because it knows. It knows. That's why." That bird never attacked me, never bit me, but if anyone else came in and tried, okay, forget it. It would go crazy. So no one could even touch the bird, only me. And I said, "Listen, they know love. They know they do." So now I have a beautiful, beautiful, heartwarming story to tell you about two of my other birds.
okay,
I had I had 5 birds at one time. It was the African gray, 2 nandays, and then 2 parakeets. So I'm sitting outside. Again, we were all on farmland, and I'm sitting outside. It was going into fall, but it was still a very nice day because I had shorts on in this photo. So I'm sitting there with one nanday on my shoulder and one nanday on my hand, and I'm playing with them and talking to them. I'm sitting on a rock. And all of a sudden, a loud noise comes from the neighbor, like an acre away, and they got scared and they started to flutter. They didn't even know they could fly. And all of a sudden, I'm like, uh-oh, and they flew together because they never left each other to my tree, the biggest tree in the yard. So I'm like, what do I do? So I played their music. I stayed outside. I put the parakeets and the other bird on the deck so they could hear them, right? They were in their cages. Next thing you know, they both fly to the neighbor's tree.
oh
Now I
gosh,
freak out. So I call the fire department. So the guy says to me, "I'm sorry, but we don't do this." I said, "Oh, no, you don't understand. You have to." I said, "These birds are, tropical birds, and it's going to be fall very soon. It's getting cool at night. I need you, please." So he said, "All right, we're going to come out. We'll see what we could do." I said, "Do you have a female on?" He says, "We don't have a female on call today." I said, "All right, come out." So in my head, I'm thinking, I'm getting on their ladder and they're going to push me all the way up, whatever. Next thing you know, I'm waiting and I see the 2 birds fly back to my yard because they heard the other birds and all that and the music. All right. So the fireman pulls up and he's like, for insurance reasons, we can't let you go up there.
Oh gosh.
So they tried, birds flew to another tree. All right. The next day, now I slept outside on the hammock. The next day, a car pulls up and it was the fireman. And he said, they're still in the yard? I said, yes. He said, they want to come home. He goes, we'll be back in a half an hour with a female fireman. They came back, girlfriend, with a female fireman, and I said to her, this is what you're going to do. You're going to hold this bowl of food. One will jump in the food. You grab it. Don't be afraid. The other one's going to jump on your head. She
Right.
goes, I'm not afraid. Exactly what I said. The one jumped in the bowl of food. She grabbed it, and the other one jumped on her head to get her to let go of his buddy. They came down. I had the cage there. They got right back in my cage. Can you imagine that?
Wow. That's incredible.
Yes, that they
Because a
came
lot
back.
of times that doesn't happen.
Nope, they
Huh?
came back. It was beautiful. So what's one of the most incredible stories you can tell about what's happened on this farm?
There's several.
Uh-huh. Tell us
I'll
a
tell
couple.
you two.
Yeah.
One was it's not just one story, but it happens like when we have to have one of the horses put down. We have a vet come out and it's humanely euthanized. But the other horses know.
Yeah.
They come and they stand around and they'll whinny
Oh.
and they want to walk over, and we always let them come out and smell the horse that's passed so that they know what's happened. But they grieve just like people do, and it's people think that they don't have feelings, but they do.
Yes.
When my llama passed away 2 weeks ago, Carl the emu and he had been together for about 12 years, I think. And Carl, when we went down to feed, I didn't see the llama. So Jay and I were looking, and the emu led us back behind the barn. We walked back there, and I saw, Drama Llama Louie down. And after he passed, that emu paced back and forth, and was standing on his grave. And we let him in with the goats so that he'd have some friends. But he didn't eat for like 3 or 4 days. I thought, I'm going to lose him. And but I didn't. He's doing good now. I'm petting him and doing things with him. But I think that's a pretty incredible thing that people don't realize how that they grieve. And there's another situation where my mom, I took care of my mom for 20 years, and she loved animals. Oh my God, she loved animals. And she would sit in the greenhouse with her little dog. He passed away 1 month before my mom did, and a friend of mine brought another little dog here from a kill shelter, Chewy. You'll see him on my Facebook page sometimes. But when mom was in hospice, that dog never left her side. He stayed on the bed with her. He only knew her for a month. He stayed on the bed with her the entire time. And when she passed, he was gone within a month. He passed. It was like he knew he had a job to do. And people, I don't think they realize how closely connected animals are to the earth and to us. And we just have to realize that. And on a good note, there was a program I was doing before we moved here from Chesapeake. I had my rescue down there. That's where it started. And I had a group from the Tidewater Environmental Program, and these were kids that had been involved in gangs. We're talking some pretty hardcore kids.
Whoa.
And they would come out. They had to come out with a police officer. They weren't allowed to touch a rake or a hoe or anything like that. They had to earn merits just to come out. And there was this one big kid who walked in the barn, and he had a real attitude. And he says, I don't want to be here. I said, well, don't get on the bus. You can leave anytime. And he was like, huh? I said, yeah, that's right. There are kids that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, go. Well, I had a horse named Equisi that had been shot in the head, and the whole side of her face was completely caved in. They really did a good job on her at the Marion Scott DuPont Equine Center up in Northern Virginia after it happened. But anyway, to make a long story short, he said, what happened to that horse? I said, somebody shot her. And he said, why would anybody shoot a horse? I looked at him. I said, what are you doing here? He said, I shot somebody. I
See?
said, exactly. I said, what do you think it looked like after you shot them? You see her face? I said, this is reality. This is what it looks like. Um, he didn't kill the person he shot, but he did damage. I think he shot him in the leg or something. I said, this is what it looks like. Well, he stood there, and the next thing I knew, he had turned his back to the horse and had his hands cupped behind his back, and she had her nose in his hand. And he said, I said, would you like to get to know that horse? And he said he would. So anyway, again, to make a long story short, I took her out and he started brushing her. He started really getting into being around her, leading her around. He became a totally different kid. And he was about 6'4". He was huge. He was a big kid. But the program ended because some of the staff members threw raw sewage into the Elizabeth River. And some of the kids had to go back to juvie and all that. But I had a little store in Virginia Beach, and I was sitting in my shop, and this big giant kid walks in my door, and he says, do you remember me? And I said, yeah, I sure do. And he said, I just wanted you to know that I'm not incarcerated anymore. I got out. And he said, I'm living with my grandfather. He said, and I'm doing good. He said, that horse saved my life.
Okay, so we're taking this show now to another level here.
Okay.
So, do you have any more like thoughts about doing that again, bringing in kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's what we're trying. We had the program, the Community Alternative Support Effort, and we are working on it again to bring more kids in. The school changed the program. We weren't real happy about it, but they changed the program, and we're trying and hoping that it will happen again, that we can bring kids in, because it really does make a difference. You know, I believe that healing horses, healing animals, heals humans. When they have compassion, it changes their outlook on life. And let's face it, you know, most kids today, all they know is the phone. They know the phone, their thumbs are busy on social media. They're not outside, they're not planting trees, they're not doing any of that. And I really believe this is the answer. I do. I honest to God do.
All right.
And we had a couple kids here that were pretty hardcore. And we had a tree that somebody had donated in memory of one of the animals. And I said, you guys want to help me plant this? And they had never planted a tree, never planted anything. And they planted it, and they told me that was the first time they had ever done that. And every time I'd see one of them, they'd say, how's that tree doing? So, I mean, that says something.
All right, so
It really does something.
I can't promote GoFundMe's or anything because of my, situation here at the radio station, because I get messages every day from hundreds of people and I just can't do it, or I have to put 1 million. I can't do it. But I'm
I
making
got
an
you. Oh, I
no,
know.
no, but I'm making an exception with this one. So this is what we're
Oh,
going to do. You're going to get together just like a short paragraph of a description. I want you to mention the animals in need with their disabilities and the children that have been saved through what you do.
okay.
Okay? Figure out a
Yeah.
really cool way of saying so they know these kids were incarcerated, blah, blah. However, we're going to do this, I will put out a GoFundMe.
Oh my God.
Absolutely.
You're going to make me
No,
cry.
I am going to do this. God is putting this on my heart right now like you have no idea.
Wow. That means a lot. It really does, because that's the only way, you know. And my dream is that when I leave this planet, that this will continue, that there'll be a
Right.
legacy that,
Right.
you know, that it will continue on.
You
So,
know, as a child, and as a teenager that loved animals, I'd never thought, I just loved animals. I'm like, okay, I want that. It could have been more selfish or whatever, but as I got older and I would start crying if anything happened to the animals, then it became more compassion. Do you know what I mean?
right,
But now, listening to you, that it's also helping these young kids is another level.
right.
Wow.
It truly is. I believe that it makes a huge. One of the
Wait,
parents
hold
of
on
one of
one
the
second.
young.
Shirley probably
Okay.
wants to say hello to you. I don't usually do this, but we're going to make an exception. Shirley, do you want to say hello?
Yes.
Say hello.
Hi, Shirley.
Rabiah, how are you?
I'm okay. And you?
All right, pretty good.
Good.
It froze on my screen.
Okay.
Yes.
It's still fine. It's froze for like 30 seconds, but once the show is even over, you can go back and start from the beginning, Cheryl, okay? She's incredible.
I've been listening.
All right, and we thanked you in the beginning as well.
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
All right.
I heard,
So
thank you.
say something to her real quick and I'll hang up on you.
Okay. Rabiah, I'll be in touch with you because I have to speak with you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you very much for putting me in touch with this wonderful person.
Huh.
So,
My pleasure.
yeah.
My pleasure.
Bye, sweetheart. Love you, Cheryl.
Later.
All right, baby. Well, we don't want to break a leg. No more breaking legs. Bye.
One of the stories that I found real endearing was one of the parents of one of the autistic young folks that comes out here told me that their child got more out of coming here than they do the programs at school for autistic kids. That's all they talk about is wanting to be here with the horses and
Yeah.
just wanting to be here. And I think that says a lot. I really do, because autism is a really interesting phenomenon, if you ask me. There's so many different levels, and I think that there's so many ways to help. And I've just seen it in so many ways with cats, with dogs, with horses.
Right.
How when they reach out, the animals know. They know
Yes.
what's happening.
Yes.
If a horse can sense a fly on its body, on its rear end, and can shake it off, that tells you something. There's sensitivities, and they can sense an electric fence 4 feet away, 4 inches away. They know it's on. They know it's there. So I just wish people realize that. So.
I am crazy. So I've traveled a lot out of the country and all that, and I've gone to farm after farm. I went to the crocodile hunters farm in Australia with some of my
wow.
mates. Yeah, and they threw a giant koala on my chest. I laugh and say it was the best chest job I ever had, baby. This koala was huge. Okay, and they threw it on my chest, and it just hugged me and hugged me and hugged me. I even went in the wilderness, and I was near kangaroos that were laying on the ground with babies in their pouches, and I was kissing their babies, and they let me. Right in their pouches.
That's incredible.
Okay?
Wow.
People are like, you are crazy. I'm like, I'm not afraid, and they know it, and they can sense it. Animals are amazing. So when an animal barks at someone or is acting a little weird, just believe it, please.
Oh, I do. If my dog doesn't like you, I don't either. I don't trust you.
That's
so
right.
It's true. So
They
God.
Know. All right. So, go ahead. You have the mic. A few more minutes. It's yours. Say whatever you'd like to say.
Well, number one, I'd like to thank you very much for this opportunity to, so to speak, preach about the animals, because I really believe there need to be more voices. There are some real good people out there that are doing some really good work. There's some really bad people out there. And what we need to do is come together. I believe it's not a competition in rescue. It's about the animals. We shouldn't be competing against each other. We should be working together. And if we can work together, we can get more work done. And I think that when somebody's afraid that you're going to get something that they're not, and so forth and so on, that you're hurting the animal, not yourself. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about these four-legged, beautiful animals that have no voice, that we're just destroying. And it's like the wild horses and all the other things happening. We need to recognize that the Creator made us stewards, not the lords. We're supposed to be taking care of these animals, and we're not. And people that eat meat, I have nothing against them. I'm just saying, if they do, honor that animal. Don't just think it's okay and laugh about it. They're dying. They're giving their life for somebody to live. And I think that I don't need it to live, but I'm saying some people think they do. But just be respectful. Respect that animal's life. Give them dignity. So I don't know. That's just my feelings and my theories. And I honestly believe that we're all part of it, and we just have disconnected, and it's time to reconnect. So,
Are you a vegan?
yes, I am.
So am I. I've been a vegan for 30 years.
I've been one since I was 10 years old, and I'm not going to tell you how long that's been.
Wow. Whoa, wait. Was your mom a vegan?
No, but I drove everybody in my house crazy. She'd put food on my plate, honest to God, and I'd say, "Where did that come from? Did 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 it hurt? Did they cry?" And my mom would just freak out. So she took me to the doctor thinking something was wrong with me. He'd say, "Fix her a peanut butter sandwich." And I mean, I'm 6 foot tall, so it definitely did not stunt my growth.
Oh, you're 6 foot tall? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
well,
only
I was.
5'3", so I'm short.
Oh, well, I don't think that's short. That's just, that's who you are.
Yeah, that's what people
So,
say.
yeah.
But you know what? You know what's amazing about all that? Like, I talk to people all the time, and there's so many, reasons to be vegan. Okay,
Yep.
animals, health, everything. We're not
Yep.
deprived of anything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Protein. Our vegetables have
Exactly.
more protein than any cooked meat out there. I'm also a nutritional health coach. I could tell them whatever they want to know. So, guys, I hope you really, really are following this show today. This is amazing and incredible. Amazing. So, first of all, Rabiah, I want to thank you for honoring me here today and Hamilton Radio. I know you're bringing tears to my producer's eyes because he keeps looking
Well,
at me
I'm
and
sitting here
smiling.
crying myself.
Okay. We're going to do everything in our power to help you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So this show will also be on iHeartRadio next week, and I'll let you
Okay.
know, and I'll have the ad out when it's going to be, and you can listen to the audio. Um,
Okay.
and again, you get something cool together for me, under a paragraph that describes, with the kids also, because this is important.
Yeah.
I will put out a GoFundMe.
Okay. Well, God, that means everything. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much.
So,
Thank you.
amazing. So I want to read a poem out of my book. So
Okay.
the reason why I like reading this poem is because everybody out there has a gift to offer. And look at the
Right.
beautiful gift God gave you. Imagine. I mean,
Yeah.
again, I'm going to repeat myself. Not only does she save animals, look what she's done with these children who could have been incarcerated, who've come to work on the farm and have said to her that these animals saved their lives. Look what this woman is doing. So, everybody out there who's questioning their worth or thinking they have nothing to offer, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. Everyone has something to offer. I remember when I was in school, I used to run up to the janitors and I would hug them and say, "Thank you for cleaning our mess." I was a kid. Because
Yeah.
imagine life without that. We
Yeah.
need
Right.
janitors. We need sanitation workers, right? We know, of course, we need teachers, we need doctors. We need all that, right? But these people don't get the recognition they should. So, guys, you have a gift. I want you to listen to every single word of this poem, okay? I wrote it for you, so hear me out. Utilizing gifts and talents. We are born with talents. We are born with drive, with different gifts to help us thrive. I knew early on I was born to draw and paint, to also write poetry, and to talk without restraint. Our gifts and talents should all be used. God's gift to us, not be abused. We can go far in life for sure, using our gifts to go on tour. All our talents should be used to create ourselves and more, but then our job's to share them, to even up the score, like she's doing. You see, in life, what's needed is not just for ourselves. Once our gifts are mastered, take them off the shelves. A living we can make by spreading them around, not just for the money, but to spread a peaceful sound. So don't take for granted the gifts you're given. Go out and spread the joy. Our gifts are not to be held back for us to self-destroy. Put your efforts
Right.
forth. Do not hesitate. All your talents, my friend, are never second rate. Never hold them back or you will surely die. Maybe not in body, but your soul will cry. Our gifts were made to share, our talents made to soar. Go through life enlightened and then you can roar. Be proud of who you are. Be happy you're alive. Once again, my friend, your gifts will help you thrive. By putting efforts forth, not keeping them at bay, Your name, Rabiah Seminole, will live forever, baby, forever and a day. So go through life excited for what you sure can give to yourself and others is our reason to live. Our grave will be quite lonely, but our legacy lives on. So make sure people smile and animals smile with the breaking dawn. There you go, girl.
Wow.
That was for you.
That's beautiful.
That was for you. So
That's
thank you. Honestly,
incredible. I love it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
You're
you
welcome.
for everything you're doing for the animals. Thank you for everything you're doing with the children. That's just blowing my mind. I'm now not going to stop talking about this interview for a very long time. So
Aw.
thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we're going to get this GoFundMe going, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you
Okay.
again. I really appreciate it.
Reach out to me
So-
by next week and let me know what you've got so far with a little note, okay?
Okay, I will. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Okay.
Yeah, producer,
take
take
care.
us out.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is it really true? Is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.